Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds might be charming Hollywood darlings on the surface, but their latest moves in the court system suggest a more calculating approach than anyone expected. Insiders claim the power couple has mapped out a secret strategy to ensure they come out on top in the lawsuit filed by Justin Baldoni, one that uses fresh legal reforms, protective privileges, and a sprinkle of their signature star appeal. Could the dynamic duo be making behind-the-scenes maneuvers to short-circuit Baldoni's claims before he even gets to discovery? Today, we're revealing how this rumored plan could leave Baldoni scrambling. People close to the proceedings say Blake and Ryan's playbook includes capitalizing on a newly enacted California statute that safeguards alleged harassment victims from retaliatory defamation suits. They also plan to leverage the litigation and fair report privileges to keep any damaging evidence or depositions off the record. But is this all just routine legal defense? Are they pulling the strings to protect more than their finances? Perhaps their pristine reputations? Attorneys for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are reportedly banking on newly minted California Civil Code section 47.1, often referred to as AB 933. Which blocks retaliatory lawsuits aimed at individuals who speak publicly about potential harassment or abuse. This law is supposed to protect real victims from being sued for defamation just because they opened up about their experiences. Their team insists Baldoni's case is exactly the kind of abuse of process the new legislation was designed to stop. According to them, her claims of a toxic on-set environment under Baldoni's direction shouldn't subject her, or Ryan Reynolds by extension, to massive legal attacks. Meanwhile, critics say they're using this law as a shield to duck accountability for what Baldoni sees as a barrage of false accusations intended to deflect blame for behind-the-scenes troubles on It Ends With Us. It's not just the new harassment shield they're highlighting. Lively's prior motion to dismiss also name-drops privileges like litigation and fair report, effectively saying she and Ryan had every right to share these allegations in lawsuits and with journalists. If that argument holds, anything they said or did, be it briefings with the New York Times or statements about Baldoni's alleged behavior, could be deemed fully protected speech. It's a huge advantage that might cut Baldoni's defamation claims off at the knees. Blake Lively has now moved to dismiss Justin Baldoni's defamation and civil extortion lawsuit. She's using a specific argument that California law forbids certain types of defamation actions when the person being sued has spoken out about harassment or retribution. Baldoni's side might argue if Lively acted with malice or spread outright falsehoods, these privileges won't protect her. But Lively counters that he hasn't adequately proven malice. At this point, it's an uphill battle for him to show that she knowingly or recklessly twisted the facts. Courts rarely dismiss major defamation cases before discovery, but if the judge thinks Baldoni's complaint lacks substance, it could still happen. Meanwhile, the transcript notes how Lively frames the entire lawsuit as a profound abuse of the legal process designed to punish her for spotlighting alleged misconduct on the set of It Ends With Us. She says it's a retaliatory gesture that runs afoul of new legal protections in California, rules that apparently don't let people file lawsuits, just to scare alleged victims into silence. Ryan Reynolds, on the other hand, largely denies playing any role in defaming Baldoni. Some documents hint that Ryan either had zero involvement or that his statements were never circulated widely. Observers see it as a two-pronged strategy, Lively claiming total legal immunity thanks to harassment privileges, and Reynolds saying, "I never said anything defamatory to begin with." Lively aims to show a judge that this is exactly the kind of lawsuit the new law was designed to prevent. She references the importance of protecting individuals who highlight toxic workplaces. Baldoni insists that, yes, real victims deserve protection. But if Blake simply invented allegations to distract from her own mistakes with the movie, that's another story. The reworked transcript points to a possible contradiction. Lively and Ryan appear to be giving conflicting explanations about publication, i.e., how alleged defamatory claims were shared. One moment, Ryan's side says, "We never circulated these statements in the public sphere," while Lively's team says, "If we did, it's protected by law anyway." That begs the question, are they covering all bases or contradicting each other? Some critics believe these arguments are less about innocence and more about fishing for any legal hook that will get them off the hook. Additionally, Lively reportedly asserts that even if she made certain negative remarks about Baldoni, the clock has run out. She claims Baldoni filed too late under the 1-year statute of limitations. Opponents argue her timeline is wrong. The alleged defamation only intensified as the film's press coverage continued, well within the relevant time frame. If you believe the rumors, Blake and Ryan's real aim isn't just a typical motion to dismiss. They also allegedly want protective orders that would seal depositions, text messages, and other behind-the-scenes content. They're said to be worried that if everything goes public, the official record might reveal unflattering details about how they handled the movie's marketing or addressed certain controversies. Their lawyers claim they're safeguarding their privacy, but some fans believe they're burying more than personal info. For instance, there might be emails or group chats showing how vigorously Blake fought for creative control and how Ryan possibly backed her up, leading critics to say she bullied producers to get her way. If such evidence surfaces, it could undermine her claims that Baldoni created a hostile environment. Blocking that from the public could be the real secret behind the couple's game plan. Justin Baldoni's stance is that Lively's attempts at a quick dismissal prove one thing: she doesn't want scrutiny on how or why these allegations popped up in the first place. He believes she's hijacking #MeToo-inspired rules meant to shield genuine victims to cover up her own questionable actions. He says if there's real evidence of wrongdoing, let it come out in court. If not, then claims about his alleged harassment are simply a smokescreen. By pushing for dismissal so early, Lively and Ryan might be aiming to avoid depositions that could poke holes in her story. At least that's how Baldoni's camp sees it. If there's any credible sign that a defendant might have lied maliciously, the court usually prefers letting both sides gather evidence. For Baldoni to overcome Lively and Ryan's dismissal push, he has to show the judge that at least some of their statements were intentionally or recklessly false. That typically requires depositions and document reviews, exactly what Lively and Reynolds reportedly hope to avoid. Attorneys for Lively have claimed that Baldoni hasn't proven malice at all, but in major public disputes, proving actual malice often depends on having depositions that reveal what a defendant knew and when they knew it. If the judge denies their motion, the couple will likely face deeper questioning under oath. One particularly contentious issue: did Blake share this document publicly or just with production insiders? If she gave it to third parties, she could be vulnerable to defamation claims if the contents were false. However, if it stayed inside the closed loop of the project, she might argue no publication ever occurred. That difference is crucial in defamation law. She also claims she had a legal right to pass it to the press if it was part of highlighting workplace harassment. Both the old transcript and our updated version highlight a major piece. The New York Times published an article referencing alleged behind-the-scenes wrongdoing on It Ends With Us. The paper indicated it drew heavily from official legal documents. Baldoni believes Lively gave them more than just that complaint. He thinks she fed them extra spin to shape the coverage in her favor. She sees it as a legitimate heads-up to journalists about real issues, which should be protected under fair report privileges. So is Blake a valiant whistleblower or an opportunistic star using the press to overshadow her own stumbles? The judge's answer could reshape the entire conversation around Hollywood lawsuits and free speech. A key piece of the puzzle is how Lively spoke about domestic violence themes in the film. Many fans felt she downplayed or trivialized these elements, leading to a social media backlash. She claims Baldoni manipulated fans to intensify the criticism, tarnishing her image unfairly. He counters that fans were simply reacting to her own misguided interviews. Some watchers think the secret strategy is partially about controlling the narrative around these statements. By dismissing the suit fast, Lively and Ryan avoid the risk of depositions or texts that might confirm she indeed shrugged off serious storylines, or worse, directed the marketing in a way that left fans outraged. This entire fiasco hinges on whether a federal judge will buy their arguments and toss the suit. Typically, these high-stakes Hollywood showdowns don't vanish without some fact-finding. If the judge decides there's enough meat on Baldoni's allegations, like possible malice or contradictory stories, he could let it move forward. That's presumably the couple's biggest fear: a full-blown trial with messy depositions broadcast to the world. If, however, the judge finds the new law or free speech defenses undeniably apply, then Justin Baldoni's complaint could be thrown out, and he might end up paying them for their legal expenses. That would be a resounding victory for Lively and Reynolds. Baldoni's attorneys argue that even if Lively's statements are generally protected, they're not automatically immune when made with malicious intent. They see her referencing the new statute as a smoke and mirrors tactic, covering for how she allegedly used these claims to deflect blame over controversies, from sour fan reception to potential mismanagement behind the scenes. They also question her urgency. If Lively truly stands by her allegations, why not let the case move into discovery and prove them once and for all? Instead, they say she's pressing for immediate dismissal out of fear that depositions might unearth damaging facts. Ryan's involvement remains a hot topic. Did he actively join in defaming Baldoni, or was he just lumped into the fray because he's Blake's husband? Critics suspect Ryan contributed subtle remarks or behind-the-scenes synergy that helped shape the harassment narrative, especially if he was part of any group chats or email threads where they discussed dealing with Baldoni. But Ryan publicly denies stoking any smear campaign. He says he never orchestrated negative coverage and that any accusations tying him to Lively's claims lack proof. Some see this as part of the secret strategy. Lively leans on strong harassment protections, while Ryan quietly insists he kept his distance from all scandalous statements. If one approach fails, maybe the other will hold up in court. Observers note that if Lively and Ryan triumph, it could set a precedent letting celebrities use anti-slap or harassment laws to swat away defamation claims before discovery. Advocates for real survivors say such legal tools are critical so big-name defendants don't intimidate them. Others worry it might invite misuse. If someone is accused of lying, they could wave these statutes around to dodge any deep investigation. Is Lively a legitimate victim using brand new legislation to shield herself, or is she cynically gaming the system to cover up questionable behavior? As for Ryan, is he an innocent spouse or part of a calculated duo protecting their star power? If the judge denies the motion to dismiss, the next phase would be discovery, and that might bring depositions from A-list co-stars who could detail what they saw on set, whether Blake made demands that overshadowed the director, or if Baldoni truly acted inappropriately. Internal emails or texts might reveal whether Lively manipulated coverage, or if Ryan played a secret role in circulating negative gossip. Financial statements could also show if Lively actually cost the production extra money by insisting on changes or halting filming to address her concerns. If those revelations turn out damning, it could damage the couple's squeaky clean brand. But if the documents support Lively's version, Baldoni's suit might collapse. This is precisely why so many watchers suspect the secret strategy is about halting the case as soon as possible and keeping any incriminating records from ever seeing the light of day. So is Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' secret strategy to win legal battle just typical celebrity lawyering, or a deeper scheme that merges star power, new legal shields, and strategic contradictions to wipe out Baldoni's defamation claims? For now, everything hinges on the judge's next move. If the motion to dismiss is granted, the couple can walk away with a triumphant headline, "Lively and Reynolds beat bogus defamation suit." If it's denied, we'll see more fireworks as all sides scramble to gather proof. In that scenario, the closely guarded secrets about marketing decisions, alleged on-set tension, and the timeline of interviews could come spilling out. Neither side shows any sign of backing down. Blake Lively stands firm that her outspokenness about harassment is both truthful and legally protected. Justin Baldoni calls it a manipulative ploy to dodge accountability for damaged reputations and poorly handled controversies. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds' exact role remains fuzzy. He could either come out squeaky clean or face the same depositions as everyone else if the lawsuit pushes forward. The final verdict may shape not only these individuals' careers, but also how future celebrity feuds unfold in public and in court. Given the magnitude of these allegations and the star power involved, everyone in Tinseltown is on high alert, eager to see if the next big Hollywood headline will be a swift dismissal or a bombshell discovery phase that reveals more about how the Lively Reynolds powerhouse really operates behind closed doors.